Hi, what y'all doing? I haven't seen you in so long. It's been a couple hours. Today is a very exciting day. You know why? Because on the Secret Creations, we reached 1,000 followers. And so today I'm giving away a painting and it's going to be so exciting. I think we're going to do it probably around like 4-ish or something like that. First, I'm going to cook, or not cook, but I'm going to prepare a blueberry dessert, something that I grew up on and is delicious. Um, that uh, that will be on the Secret Creations around 4ish, and right after I do the blueberry dessert on that same live video, we will be doing the like where I say, okay, go, and you shoot numbers to me, and I already have a number that's been chosen. And as soon as you send me that number, the correct number, you win a free painting. So, um, I'm very excited because I can't wait to see who wins it and what painting they're going to choose and all that fun stuff. And then when I get to 2,000 followers, I'm going to give away another painting. So we're on the way to 2,000 now. All right. Today is Sunday, so I just wanted to start out with like one of my very favorite verses. So, if I have a day where for some reason I can't watch my sermons and I don't have that much time, which is rare because I always get my sermons in there because it prepares me for the day. I mean, you don't want to see me if I haven't had my sermons. But I I have a book where I have like all my favorite verses written down, and so if I don't have time to watch my sermons, then I'll read my all my verses. And so this is one of the ones I read. It's one of my favorite verses, and so I just thought I would share it with y'all today. So this is Hebrews 13:5. Let your character or moral disposition be free from the love of money, including greed, avarice, lust, craving for earthly possessions, and be satisfied with your present circumstances and with what you have. For he, God himself, has said, I will not in any way fail you, nor give you up, nor leave you without support. I will not in any degree leave you helpless, nor forsake you, nor let you down, or relax my hold on you. Assuredly not. It's my favorite verse. Okay, so I also brought you some paintings today before we get to story time. Now, these paintings that I brought for you um, they were hanging in a store, and so they have little price tags hanging from them. But here's one. I'll get in close for you. It's part of, I was doing a bunch of like different, like all the different areas in Texas, and this was one. I love wisterias and I can't wait till mine blooms. I've had it for 5 years. I'm still waiting. Okay, there's one. And then this is another Texas scene out in the Big Bend area. Let me see if I can get the whole thing in there. Where is it? There it is. Of course, I will come and zoom in for you. There's all kinds of pretty cactus and little things going on in the background. It's a pretty scene. And then, oh, this is another Texas. I didn't even do that on purpose. I just had a box of them and I picked a handful and they all came out Texas. Okay, so this one is a like I think it's like a West Texas scene. Here we go. I think I got the whole thing in there. I'll zoom in for you. Come on into this Texas scene. I think you know what this where this came from. I I live outside of Dallas in a town where this man was looking for an artist to paint a mural on the outside of the building, and I got in contact with him, and he said, I want it to look like Texas, and he had all this different little criteria. And so I got home and I started thinking about it, and I thought, first of all, what would be really pretty down there because, everybody's going to see it, off the highways and everywhere else. And then what really represents Texas. And so I thought about all the things that you see in Texas and wrapped them up and put them into this painting. Like, see the little boot down in the front and the blue bonnets, because that's like so Texas. And then of course we have the barbed wire, that little scene right there plays out all over Texas. And then it was, what else did I have in there? The wagon wheel. I can't see what I'm doing. There's a wagon wheel up against a tree somewhere. I don't know where it is. I can't see it from here. Where the heck is it? It's that one. And then I have the Texas flag. There it is. There's the wheel. And all the like little wildflowers that grow in Texas. And the trees that you see. I just thought it would be a really pretty mural. Then he decided at the very last minute, because it was a barber shop, he decided at the very last minute he was just going to put like he wanted one of those little, like the poles, and then have his name and barbershop and all that. And I was like, well, and he was, it was going to be free. He was just going to pay for the paint. So, and that's, the way it is with a lot of artists. Before you get started, you have to do a lot of things like this so you can get your name out there. So I was willing to put my art on his wall. I was not willing to paint, you know, whatever he wanted on there for free. That was not going to be any credit to me whatsoever. So, the last time I saw down there, he didn't even have, all he had was a little, somebody painted barber on there. So, yeah. Anyway, so showed you the paintings, went to the verse. Now here we're gonna go back to Tom. Remember Tom? Um, or AKA Tom. There was a few things that I didn't tell you about Tom. I told you about how he like got me out of that place, which was good. And I didn't tell you that he paid for me to go back to beauty school, because if you have watched any of the prior videos, I was removed from beauty school when I was going for hair for the whole, 9 yards. And so he paid for me to go back because I just wanted to finish nails. And so I went back and got my license. And then, that's when I started working at Elizabeth Arden. And that's when I got my Cadillac and a lot of those other stories, that little bits and pieces that you heard from the past videos. This is where, they're going to start melting into the story. So, Tom and I were living in that condo, and, there was lots of different things going on in the beginning with with the substance that was not Pepsi. But there was other things, like, because this was early on, because he had, 3 different shops while we were together. So I can remember, when things occurred based on like which shop he was at. Because the first one, it wasn't very long before he moved out of that shop. So I know that one, it was a huge shop. It even had like a little upstairs apartment. It had a kitchen downstairs, like in the shop area, and there was multiple office areas and a lot of room to store cars in addition to working on cars. It was a nice shop. It was, impressive to see something like that for the first time. And I, while I was hurt and all that stuff, I guess would hang out with him down there and just watch him, work on stuff. He was really amazing at what he did. He deserved, whatever he charged, he deserved because he knew cars inside and out. And this was long before there was any, schools or special technical places that you would go just to learn this. He never did any of that. But you could call him and be like, my car is going ping ping ding, and then it does this weird and he'll be like, oh well, okay, that's your blah 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 blah. Like he knew them really well and how to fix them really well, and then he also knew how to do the paint and body in the paint. Which brings us to our first little story of Tom. So, I was down there with him watching him, do whatever he does. And that was back when, uh, I was in that kind of, dancing scene or dancing mode or, the attitude of one or, you know, whatever. I was still, still pretty wild, still pretty fresh from other things that happened because it never stopped, right? It was like a snowball. Once I came back from Florida, it just kept, you know, um, it just kept on going. So I went into his offices when we were down there. Um, and I was bored, and so I lit some green edge. And, he had said previously, that he didn't want me to be doing that and blah, blah, blah. And, we were just starting the relationship and I wasn't really, like I never listened to anybody else. Why would I listen to him, right? So I'm smoking this thing in his office and he comes in like furious and I can't believe you're doing that and you need to put that out. Like just had small fits. And I was like, God, okay, like didn't know it was that big of a deal. Well, later on, I don't know if it was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever, he was out in the shop and I went out there and he was putting Bondo on a car. And I was standing next to him and I had shorts on or a dress on or something short. That was back when I had legs. Um, and he just turned around and put Bondo on my legs. Now, um, if you're not familiar or this has never happened to you, it's a lot more than it just sounds like. It was pretty traumatic. Um, I thought that he was just playing, like when you are in the kitchen and you're making a pie and you put some whipped cream on somebody's nose or something, you know what I mean? I thought he was just like, messing with me like a guy like flirting with a girl or something, right? Um and so I went um to go wash it off. And it didn't happen immediately. It happened in, I don't know, about 2 or 3 minutes. My legs began to be like on fire, like on fire, 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 bad, bad, bad. Chemical burn, skin peeling off. I don't know what's going to happen. Just like, ah. And so I started to speed up the process of like trying to wash it off. And he started yelling at me. He's like, "You don't want to do that." And I'm like, "Why is that?" And he's like, "That water's just going to make it worse." And it was kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know what would be like that, but like, um, I mean, the best thing I can describe it to, because I was in construction, and so when you do tape and bedding, the mud that you make, is like something similar to that. And when I tried to wash it, where like that mud that I am used to playing with, that would just get, watery and white, and then just rinse white with it, just rinse right off of you. Tape and bed mud. This, when you got it wet, just seemed to get like, I don't know, like thicker and stickier, and it would not come off. Like it wouldn't come off. And I was freaking out because it was just getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. And just like starting to process that, like, he just like did that to me on purpose. Like, clearly knew what it was going to do, clearly knew the wrong way to get it off, and chose to do it to me anyway. Um, so, uh, eventually, I don't know how long it was, maybe 15, 20 minutes. He finally stopped whatever it was he was doing and came over there with all of these, like, shop rags, and just like wiped it off. And my legs were like blood red. It didn't, like it felt to me like my skin wasn't going to be there anymore. But it just like they were just really, really red and sore for, you know, a few days or whatever it was. And that was my first experience with like his meanness, like, his ability to go below the belt, which I've never been a big fan of. Like, I understand that everybody's not going to have the same opinion, and I understand that people are going to, you know, fight, but I don't understand why it can't be fair, and why you have to go, why you have to go nasty, go below the belt, just do hateful, horrible thing. Excuse me. I don't know if y'all can hear Lucy barking, but I can, and I'm going to have to just. Come on, but don't bump this. Okay. We now have. Ah, we now have two German Shepherds in the studio. um, so Tom, that was my first little experience. The next time that I can remember something happening, we were in the bedroom, which was like really small. There wasn't that much room because where the bed ended is also where the doorway, was like this. So the bed was like right here. And so you really just had the doorway's width to go through the bedroom to the bathroom, and everything else was pretty close. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed, my water bed again. I took that water bed with me everywhere. I think I finally got rid of it when I moved into this house. Um, okay. So, I don't remember what's going on. I think, we were fighting about something. I don't know what. And I was just kind of like sitting there on the edge of the bed, and he was, bending over on the floor doing something. I don't know if he was packing a suitcase or doing something, putting something together. And he just turned around before I knew what was happening. He turned around up off the floor and just came straight at my neck, like so hard that, it took all the air out of me already immediately. And then just like choked me for like, I don't know how long. Um, and that was like my second little experience with, the way that he was. Um, there was another time that I don't remember what happened. I was probably at the shop when I wasn't supposed to be at the shop or something, because remember in previous stories I told you he was always trying to kind of like keep me away from there. And I went down there. I don't, and there was a bunch of people down there, and he always, had some employees or people that hung out from selling whatever tools or whatever paint or whatever, he'd have all these little buddies. And so there was a bunch of people down there. I don't know what went on, but we were in the parking lot in the front of the shop. And I don't know if I was trying to leave. I don't know. I don't remember what happened. I think I was probably headed for my car, like at a fast rate of speed. And then he just like whipped me around, like, you know, whipped me around and turned me in the other direction. And I don't remember if he punched me or what he did, but he somehow got me on the ground. It was all gravelly. So, I mean, I don't know if I slipped or tripped or just fell because I got turned around so fast. Or like, I don't remember what happened, but I do remember that once I was down there, he just started kicking the crap out of me. And I can remember while I was on the ground, like trying to figure out what was going on because, I've told y'all in some past videos that when this stuff starts, it's not um, like in a boxing ring and like you just know it's gonna happen or something and like you're face to face and you're like ready to tee off. I mean, it's always like I'm vacuuming, I'm sleeping, I'm doing something, and it just like there's like it's like a attack out of nowhere, and so you have no you're mentally or physically not prepared for whatever it is. It's just phew. Okay. So, I remember that when I was laying on the ground and there was like dust flying and I could see, the bottoms of feet, and so I could see guys lined up outside the door, and it was almost completely dark because the light was real bright on the inside because the door was open, and I could see these guys like lined up outside the door, not one of them saying anything or doing anything, and then you're processing that in your head too, like I can't believe that they're, like letting this happen. I I can't for the life of me remember what went on, but so I remember that I drove back to the house. I don't um in post, like in other relationships after that, I can clearly remember what I did, what they did, what I did, what they did, the back and forths, and I can't remember with him, like knowing my personality, certainly I had to be fighting back in some way, shape, or form, but I can't remember to tell you. If I clocked him or kicked him I swear I would just tell you, but I don't remember. I can't remember, so I don't want to like say something that, isn't accurate because I don't clearly remember. Um I'm gonna turn the air on for the dogs. Hopefully it won't be too loud for you. Um, I think we're getting too long-winded on this video and I'm gonna run out of time. So I think that's about the last thing that I can remember with him anyway, because it's not like stuff like that occurred on a daily basis or anything. I mean, I've never been in any relationship where something happened the way that you see it on TV and the way that they're, need to go to a hospital and like all this kind of stuff. It's never happened like that for me. I mean, I would not at all tolerate that, but the way that these things happen and sneak up and then, they apologize and you don't know it's a pattern until, way later. But those are three incidences that I clearly remember with him. Um, but at the same time, I'll finish that in another video because we're going to run out of time and then my phone's going to shut off on me. And then we have to go make the blueberry dessert and give away a painting. So I hope if y'all see this in time on Sunday afternoon, you will come over at 4 or 5 or so over to the Secret Creations. And if you're following me over there, it'll give you a notification that I'm going live when we go to do the dessert and the painting. So thank you for following. And if you want to see some of my art, it's on Instagram, Rhonda Mills 67. And you're already on my YouTube channel, so you know where that is. Hopefully you are subscribed, because that will give you notifications when I do a video. These are not some of the most fun videos to do, y'all. They wear me out just a little bit. But I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a fantastic, blessed Sunday.